Welcome, everybody. Well, this is the second week in a row that we're going to talk about sin. I hope I don't lose my audience because of that. But actually, we need to talk about it, don't we? So we can know how to deal with it. So let's read from Romans, and let's see if you can relate to this. St. Paul's talking here. So I find this law at work. When I want to do good, evil is right there with me. For in my inner being, I delight in God's law. But I see another law at work in the members of my body, waging war against the law of my mind, and making me a prisoner of the law of sin at work within my members. What a wretched man I am. Who will rescue me from this body of death? Every time I want to do good, evil is right there with me. Boy, isn't that the truth? How many can relate to that? How many feel that, gosh, sometimes I'm in a state of contradiction? I want to do good. It's all our original desire to do good. Everybody wants to do good. The fundamental desire and pursuit of man is to do good. Nobody really wants to do evil. Everybody wants to do good. But actually doing good is so difficult. And avoiding evil acts or bad deeds is so difficult. So St. Paul very honestly expresses, uses himself as an example of the dilemma of man, that we are in a state of contradiction. A part of us wants to do good. That's the original part of us, our original desire. We want to do good. We want to be on the side of goodness. We want to relate to God. We want to do good deeds. But there's another part of us, a sinful mind, that causes us to do bad deeds, or it leads us into sin. And these two directions are at war inside of us. And I know if you're really honest with yourself, you'll admit, yes, this is really going on. There's a war going on inside of me. When I'm doing something bad, there's a voice in there saying, you shouldn't be doing that. Don't do that. And I have to fight against my original desire sometimes to sin. And then on the other side, when we want to do something good, there seems to be another part of us that's saying, oh, come on. Don't do that. That's silly. People will think you're silly, or you'll be embarrassed. Don't do that. Don't do something good. Think of yourself. Think of yourself. So it seems like we're two people, doesn't it? Seems like we're two people. And actually, it's a result of our lineage and our ancestry. We've studied many times that the lineage of man is confused. Right from the very beginning, God told Adam and Eve to be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion. Make the kingdom of heaven. But they failed. They instead sinned and multiplied sin. So we can see that man's lineage is a confusion of good and evil. There's an original part of us that seeks to fulfill the ideal of God, but there's also an inherited part of us that we've received from our first ancestors, Adam and Eve, who fell, who sinned. So this conflict, the cause of all war is from the war going on inside of us, each one of us. So the most obvious manifestation of this war going on is the feeling of midway position. I'm in a midway position, or neutrality. Neutrality. When two forces are working against each other in an opposite way, the result is zero. And haven't you felt like that sometimes? Usually the ideal for us these days is, I'm okay as long as I'm feeling no pain, right? But that's not good enough. That's not the way that God wanted us to live. How you doing today? Yeah, I'm all right. Everything's okay. No problem. That's the ideal of this world, right? If I ain't feeling no pain, I'll take it. But how neutral we are. Haven't you noticed how neutral people are? So hard to commit. So hard to share your heart. So hard to love. We're really stuck in a midway position. And it's hard to commit. It's hard to really be a loving person. It's hard to do good things. It's safe just to be in our little safe zone, right? Like in our spiritual armored vehicle. We live in a spiritual armored vehicle and nobody gets in, nobody touches me. Okay, maybe I'm not happy, but at least I'm safe. I'll take it. Have you ever ridden the bus home or been on a train or been on a bus trip? And you can sit in the seat right next to somebody, and how hard it is for people to really share with each other, to talk. Or if you've ever been on the subway in New York City at rush hour, it's unbelievable. You can be pressed up against people, but it seems like there's a law written that says you can't look at anybody. Nobody talks. You're smashed together up against people, but nobody dares talk. That breaks the rules. You'll be arrested. So we live in this protected shell, the neutral area. And maybe we're not happy, but at least we're safe, right? Nobody's going to hurt me. I'm protected. You'll never be happy that way. And God never intended us to live in a midway position. So we got to come out of there. And there's only one way. If we want a relationship with God, there's only one way to start it. And that is, you got to surrender. You got to surrender to God. And then you got to act. The name of this program is Word and Deed. It's not good enough just to hear good things. You got to do good things. What did Jesus say? He said, knock and the door will be open. But we would prefer if the door would open and then we'll knock. Ask and it will be answered. In other words, we've got to do something. We've got to do something first, and then God can connect to us. So, to come close to God, you got to get up, and you got to do something. You got to do a good deed. Why do we have to do a good deed to connect to God? Because God is a man who lives for the sake of goodness, doing good things for the sake of others. So if we want to relate to this God, if we want to find this God, then we got to make ourselves similar to Him. We have to make a common base. A common base. Who are the people that you like the most? It's the one that you have a common base with. Haven't you noticed that your friends are the people that have a common base with you? Or have you ever noticed that whenever there's a disaster or whenever it snows or whenever there's a common problem, people unite together? We need a common base in order for there to be relationships. When there's no common base, it's hard to relate, isn't it? Very hard to relate. So, same thing. When we want to relate to God, we got to make a common base inside of ourselves. And that's why we have to do good deeds. That means, what's a good deed? What's a good deed? A good deed is any thought or action in accordance with God's principle that makes a base for God to have give and take with me. In other words, it's the opposite of sin. So what happens when we make a common base with God? Then relationship can take place. God can intervene in my life. God can have give and take with me. And what's the result of that? That means we come closer together. God comes closer to me, and I come closer to God. And you know what that means? That means I become more like God wants me to be. And you know who that is? That's your true self. If you become more like the way God wants you to be, then that means you're becoming your true self, your true personality, your true unique self. Coming closer to God means I come closer to myself as well, my true self. But we got to do something. Make a base for God to have give and take with you. Don't wait for God to come down. Hey, God, come down here. Let me see a burning bush, and then I'll believe. It'll never happen. You have got to knock. You have got to ask. You have got to seek. Do something. Do something good. Do something unselfish for somebody else. It doesn't have to be a big thing. You don't have to save the world. Do something little. Like make somebody a cup of coffee. You know, Jesus emphasized the little things. There's a woman who gave some money in the temple. It was just a couple pennies. But it was all that she had. He really praised her. She gave the most. Jesus also emphasized doing good things to people that are doing bad things to you. Ooh, that's hard, isn't it? That's a good kind of good deed to do. Jesus said, pray for the one that is doing evil to you. Don't just pray for your brothers. Pray for your family. Pray for the ones that are out to do harm to you. Isn't that tough? To do something good to somebody who's doing something bad to you. Oh, that's so difficult. But if you do that, you'll really make a base for God to have give and take with you. That means you'll become more God-like, and God will become more you-like. That means you'll come together. God will become very real. You'll feel God very much in your life. Do good things. Don't have to be big things, but let's make a base for God to have give and take with me. Now, unfortunately, this lecture doesn't end here because sometimes we're going in the other direction, aren't we? Sometimes we're following the pursuit of our sinful mind, this sinful self that Paul talked about. Sometimes this sinful side is influencing us. And always, 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 this sinful side will follow this basic principle. That is, sacrifice others for yourself. The self. The self is the king of the sinful mind. And the sinful mind motivates us to do bad deeds or sin. Sin. What is sin? Sin is any thought or action in violation of God's way that makes a base for Satan to have give and take with me. Satan. And the same thing, when we have give and take with Satan, Satan invades, and then we become more like him. That means through sin, your personality will transform. That's why you shouldn't sin. Sin corrupts your personality. Sin corrupts your true self. That's why we shouldn't sin. So what is the tradition? How can we distinguish this sinful mind? This sinful mind will always motivate you by self-interest. Self-interest? Self-interest is really in our mind and in our heart. Have you ever noticed how you'll become so righteous about something that involves your own self-interest? Have you ever watched people on a strike? They're so righteous. They're so righteous and so strong. Because their self-interests are involved. But are they that powerful, that energetic about even the greater unrighteous in the world? For instance, there are people enslaved by communism around the world. Can we get those same people on strike to march against communism? A much greater unrighteousness? No, not this weekend. I'm going to the ball game. Self-interest. That's a part of our sinful mind. Got to get it out of ourselves. Another thing, our sinful mind will motivate us by self-glorification. I'm so great. You know, arrogance. self-pride and arrogance. I'm so great. God, I'm great. Or, no, I've only made one mistake in my whole life. For a couple of minutes, I thought I was wrong. Have you ever met people like that? Oh, there's so much sin that comes out of the self-glorification. Another one, self-gratification. Make myself happy. Self-pleasure. Immorality. If it makes me feel good, do it. Remember that standard of morality? If it feels good, do it. Boy. If it feels good, do it. Self-gratification. That'll lead you to hell. That'll lead you to hell. And self-justification. Self-justification. That's another one. Hey, you shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong. Hey, you can't say that to me. And who are you? Oh, I'm tired, or I'm weak, or, well, it's only the first time I've ever done it. We're always justifying ourselves, right? Well, once won't hurt. Oh, everybody's doing it. Self-justification. Leads us to evil deeds, bad deeds, sin. And the result of sin is the same thing. We become more like Satan's personality, and he becomes more like us. Our personality is warped, becomes warped by sin. And our hearts, our true mind, can't move. And that means selfishness becomes a way of life. Selfishness becomes a way of life. Then, you don't really have a choice anymore. You are dominated by selfishness. And when you are living for yourself, then that's all that you'll ever have is yourself. And when you go into the next world, you'll go to the world of self. And you know what's in the world of self? Just you. Just you. Now, you know what they call that in prison? Solitary confinement. And that's the worst kind of punishment in the world, solitary confinement. Even the most hardened criminal trembles at the prospects of solitary confinement. So let's change that. Let's don't follow this sinful mind. Let's don't do sin. Let's not live for self-interest, self-glorification, self-gratification, self-justification. Let's instead follow our original desire, which is in every one of you, and let's do goodness. Let's sacrifice ourselves for the sake of others, and let's make a base for God to have give and take with me, and let's liberate our true self. And let our true personality blossom. That's God's hope for us. Thank you very much, and God bless you.